My name's Joe, we are still at Scaffolding, and this is episode 11. So we're back for episode 11, so well into double figures now. These episodes are actually flying through. It's crazy because I feel like it wasn't that long ago that this was just a thought, and then all of a sudden this thought turned into a plan, and the plan turned into action, and the action is now into episode 11. So it's crazy, but like I always say, we're loving doing these. Today we are back to Lymington. We've got the boys there wrapping the last bits up now. So obviously the roof and the monoflex and everything, as I'll show you, was actually completed a little while ago. There was extras that were asked for from the client. I'm going to show you those today. We're going to show you a proper walk around of the project, show you everything done and wrapped up. We've also got a load of boys up in Paddington, the big hotel project that we showed you guys around. That was Kieran's first project. The boys are up there. We've been asked to do a load of temporary propping. So there's a lot to be done up there. We've got boys up there on day works. Obviously, the propping isn't actually something that we do typically, but the clients come to us and said, look, if we buy the material, if we get the material in, can you guys do it? It's a case of following the drawer and following the design. We've got everything in place now for that. The boys are up there. We've got 6 men up there today on day works, and yeah, the boys have got a couple of days of cracking on with that. So we are also on the way today to look at another project that we could be doing very, very, very soon, that I know that probably every single viewer of this channel will find extremely interesting. I can't say too much info yet because it is not signed, sealed and delivered. However, there's a chance that this will happen. It's going to be something that you guys will not want to miss. So yeah, like I said, that's all I'm going to say on it now. I don't want to say any more than that, but we could have something special coming very, very soon. So holiday. So thank you first of all, us both, to everyone for your wishes, well wishes. The weather was lovely, the food was lovely. I put on about 5 kilos, so the food was probably a bit too nice. I think about 2.5 kilos of that was ice cream. Yeah, that part of it was lovely. However, work, to be honest, to put it plainly, I think was a disaster, an absolute disaster. So obviously the day that I went, and ironically today again we've got issues with the lorry, our lovely 100 grand lorry, worth every penny. And we had a photo put online of the boys not wearing PPE, not wearing full PPE, which to be honest, like, literally ruined my holiday. That was towards the end of it. We also had a lad asked me to sort him out Saturday work. I sorted that out. A lad who's on good money as well asked me to sort him out Saturday work. He was desperate and going away, so I sorted it out for him with a new client for a load of film work that we're trying to get into. Sorted it out for him, and on that day, it was on the Saturday, I left my phone. It was the only day, obviously I worked right through. I didn't go on holiday to have a break. I didn't need a break, I needed work to be busy. I said that word for word in the last episode, and that is the truth. That's all I care about, is work being busy. Pretty much all I care about, obviously family and normal things like that, but 9 times out of 10, business is all I'm really focused on. I've left my phone in the hotel room on Saturday morning thinking, yeah, this will be the day to leave it. There'll be no dramas. I come back at 2:30 p.m. My phone's been absolutely hammered, which is normal anyway, but I thought it would just be like social stuff, friends, all that sort of stuff. It was from the client, the client of the film work that we're trying to break into. Basically, the boy, this lad hadn't turned in. So I've had to deal with that. The client has been very funny with me, as obviously they probably think I was ignoring them. Sorted that out, we managed to put it right. We got boys in there Sunday. Lads in there Sunday did really well, so credit to those boys. They've pulled it back for us. The boy who didn't turn in on Saturday has lost his job and he won't work for us again. And the reason being, and I've told you before that I'm ruthless, is because I've got a reputation to uphold, yeah? My business is so cutthroat. My clients have got so many companies trying to get into them all the time. And if I allow people to have such small levels of discipline to turn up on time, wear the right equipment as a minimum, the right PPE as a minimum, then my business is a laughing stock. And the clients that I'm trying to break into or keep hold of will not even look at me. So if a man comes to me and he asks me to sort him work out on the Saturday, and I sort that out for him with a new client for a level of work that we are really trying to break into, because they will help our business go that extra step further, and all these baby steps, they amount to a big step over a certain period of time. If I allow that to happen and be okay, what does that say about the respect I've got for myself and my company? Absolutely nothing, zilch. I might as well not be in business. So he has lost his job, yeah? And I didn't even give an explanation. I took him out of the group and that is it. And it goes back to the same thing all the time, that excuses don't pay bills. I do not need to have silly conversations with people and try and educate a man of 35 years old as to why he needs to turn into a work, when a 17-year-old could tell me why he needs to turn into work. Yeah, I don't need to have silly conversations. Like, my thing is bottom line every time, because it's the only thing ever that puts food on the table, money in the bank, and keeps the direct debits getting paid. So I don't need to have silly wishy-washy conversations. So that is a situation that is now done and dusted, and that person will not work for me ever again. Now, the other issue we had is, and this is an accident, and it was an accident, and it's being dealt with. So on the Friday night, yeah, the build up to obviously the Saturday, the Friday night, I had my phone with me. I had to have my phone with me. We're about to go out. We've got a nice meal plan. I thought I'd have a few drinks, be a nice time with the missus. You know, we can switch off, have a proper evening. So obviously in the week, Monday night, Wednesday, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, there's always something. There's always a plan. There's always something that comes in last minute. Someone's got to quickly get this or get that. So the line's open. So if the boys are breathing, I'm switched on. Yeah. If we're planning something, I have to be alert. I have to be ready all the time. So the boys pull up to a little job in overtime. I get a call. Joe, we've just smashed into a car. I was so, oh. So in the Mercedes, the boys accidentally, and these boys are good lads, but work hard, good lads, yeah? Not taking that away from anyone, they're good boys. My insurance, I'm getting absolutely hammered for my insurance because of bumps and scrapes, little knocks here and there, or things that happen. None of them are my accidents, not one of them, yeah? But my premium is through the roof, and it is because of the issues of boys bumping things, knocking things with lorries. And obviously, listen, it's part of business, fine. But it gets to a point where you're like, well, how far does this go? So what I've had to do now is I'm sorting out with the lad that he is gonna have to pay. We're going privately, and he's gonna have to pay for it. And like I say, it's an accident, and I'll probably contribute with him and make sure that it's covered. But at the end of the day, the boys are self-employed, and issues like this, I can't keep fronting. I can't just put it on my insurance, because my premium is through the roof. It's a good wage for a year, put it that way. It's a very good wage for a year, you know? So I can't keep covering that. You know, if you keep doing this year on year, you end up out of business. Do you know what I mean? So that's being dealt with now. That Friday night, I'm due to be going out with my missus. We're going out to a restaurant, having nice food. The view in the restaurant that we're at, it's like unbelievable. We're looking at the sea, the food's lovely, drink's lovely. However, I am trapped in my head and trapped in my phone, because I've got the person whose car has just been smashed up on the phone. I've got to sort her out a hire car. She's going away, so there's a deadline on it. I've then got to sort out who's going to do the body work, who's going to do the repair, who can do it quickly in time. And it was never ending. For everyone that wished me well for my holiday, thank you. The place, we were in Mallorca. The place was absolutely lovely. My missus had a lovely time, carefree, lots of nice food, lots of nice drink, lots of nice restaurants. However, for me, it was a stressful period. And if it was a stressful period in terms of lots of work being booked up and quotes and people onto me, you know, hammering me for the good stuff, then fine, not a problem. I like being busy, I like being reactive and focused and on the ball. But that was just carnage after carnage after carnage. And like I say, we're back now, we're back to it, back to business. And yeah, holiday came and went. It was a lovely place there, but it wasn't so nice here. Mate, have you seen that crane? The crane company were getting fucking hammered.
I know, mate, I know.
But I have gone back and stuck up from those.
The learning curve for this,
yeah,
for us, is obviously There wasn't a site visit carried out because we only engaged them. I mean, when did we actually engage them? I think it was the,
literally
the first Wednesday night or the Thursday.
Exactly, mate, yeah.
Could have been avoidable.
Definitely.
Obviously, it was done on no notice.
No, definitely.
But I still stand by the fact that,
It was
do you know what? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because if you'd turned up with a fly jib, I think you'd have reported it at full cost anyway.
My part, maybe I didn't give exact specifics, but it's a learning curve, isn't it? Obviously with these things, you have to be 110% specific. That was the middleman who sorted out the crane for us now. One thing that I want to set straight is on the last episode, the crane guys got absolutely hammered, and in the comments. And obviously for you guys, you only see what you can see, like you only see what is shown. But obviously from my point of view, and not even my point of view, I think just the fact and the truth of the situation is that I think it was all sorted out a bit last minute. Obviously I had a price from someone else, a price for 2,100. I then spoke to these guys and said, look, is there anything you can do to another supplier that I know? I said, look, is there anything you can do? This is the quote I've been offered. Is there anything you can do to make it a bit cheaper? So he said, look, this is what I can do. I can sort this out for, say, £1,900. We can get there tomorrow. And obviously I've sent over the photos, the information, everything. And it's probably my thing. I probably should have known that the ground wasn't 110%. But also, I've not dealt with cranes on that level before, and genuinely, does it sound stupid? Maybe it does, I don't know. I didn't actually see that there would be an issue. Obviously I know that they'd have mats and everything else, and to be honest, I didn't see there'd be an issue. That first call that we had in the morning sounded like an absolute nightmare, and obviously I was genuinely prepared, genuinely thinking I'm gonna have to sack off the episode. In the end, obviously the outcome was positive. We sorted out what we need to, and it actually became a very successful day and a good episode. But the crane guys were hammered, and wrongfully really, because the guys that came in, that we got in, they was at short notice. They'd helped out my supplier, and to be honest, I think it's a combination of a few things, and I have myself to blame as well, because I obviously didn't give exact specifics of the details, which obviously now I know going forward with cranes, you have to be on the button with absolutely everything. It's going to be used with absolutely every single detail, where it's going to be used for, where it's going to be sat. And as I'm saying it almost sounds obvious. When you're in the middle of dealing with 100 million things, and which is never an excuse, it's easy just to give the information you got and then expect that's then being dealt with, you know, and it's right. But obviously, like I say, with cranes, obviously my lesson that I've learned, and I'm learning all the time, is that the specifics have to be specific, and in that case they probably weren't. So one thing I do want to set the record straight on is that the guys have now contributed to the cost of the mats, so that was something that's out of pocket that's now come back into my pocket. And yeah, we all had a chat, and I just want to set the record straight. This is never a thing to like tarnish other people's name or, you know, put dirt on other people's businesses. It's nothing like that at all. It's nothing like that, and that's why a lot of the times I don't even name people, because it's not about that. It's more about creating the content for you guys and showing you exactly what goes on. But ultimately, there's relationships that I've got that I don't want to muddy waters with, and not only that, it's just not right to do. And a lot of times we're not really telling people they're being filmed. It's just we just run with things as they come. So the content will stay as it is, but this isn't a platform that's designed to make other businesses look bad. So I do want to make that clear, that is now done and dusted. The crane boys have done what they needed to do. They've stepped up, they've helped out, and that situation is now done and closed. There's also a viewer that commented on my video last week, and he's mentioned that he lost someone close to him and his family recently, and sent me a really nice message. And to be honest, it actually choked me up a little bit reading it. And I'd like to get in touch with that person. Now, I don't know if YouTube's deleted the comment or not because of one of the words that were mentioned in the comment. If you're watching this, I would really like to speak to you. I'd like to send you a couple of bits. I've thought a couple of times about that, about the message and what you said, and yeah, I really want to speak to you. So if you can, if you're seeing this, obviously I don't know your name yet, and I do apologise for that. But if you're watching this, if you can write to me through the Stellar Scaffolding contact page, I would appreciate it massively, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you. So enough of all the dramas, enough of all the problems that I have currently going on in my life. The clock is still ticking and the day has begun. So we're on site, we're in Lymington. The boys are behind us finishing up now. We'll go and see them in a minute. However, first things first, let's show you the driveway, the road, the block paving, the area that the crane drove onto first. So we're gonna go and have a look at that now. Follow me. So the first bit the boys came on was along here. And to be fair, it's solid. All the way down here was absolutely fine. So there's no issues here. Now here is where it could have got a little bit technical. However, the ground was nice and solid and held out. So all the way along down here was fine. Now there's certain parts here that already were very soft and slightly wavy. Namely this part here, this part here. Now the main area of concern, and it also was flagged by our client, was this area here. So we're going to show you before and after photo. So before the work was done, this is how it looked. And then after it was done, this is how it looked. So I've also got to do a big thank you to Frankie at Quality Building and Roofing. They came in next day, had this sorted out, and they got everything done for a price of £750. So it was a little bit more money out. However, on a job like this and with the client that we've got, it's absolutely peanuts to the work that potentially could come off the back of it. So like I say, we've got everything reinstated. The client's happy, the customer is happy. The client had a walk around here today. Obviously today is our sign-off day. The boys are up there, as I said earlier, showing the final snags now. But this is final sign-off. So after today, we'll be out of here. There's a lot of tidying up to do. There's a little bit of odds and sods still to be cleared up that will go onto the lorry. Client is very happy though, first and foremost. So yeah, it's so far a successful project. Here we have our loading bay. The guys are going to be stripping the roof. So everything comes out, it's going to be loaded onto here, and then we've got our hoist at the top that we're going to show you that obviously that will transport everything. On the first episode we had here, I called this a dormer window. And I only realised once the video was out that I'd made a very silly mistake. I made myself look very amateur. However, this bay window, the boys have not needed to go around. Obviously, as we said before, all the access is up the top. So we've got our structural lifts, got our loading bay, and obviously our top boarded deck all the way around in line with the parapet. As you'll see here, there is a little bit of loose material, excess fittings that the boys are going to clear up. So that'll be out and gone today. The boys have done a brilliant job here. Obviously it took a little bit longer than expected, mainly because slight extras and adaptations the client needed. So they were taken care of. And as I said, the client is very happy. Got our loading bay here, and essentially what this is for at the minute is storage for the boys that are doing the roof. Also at the minute they're using it to transport ply up and down. So we've got our rubble chute here. So for all the stuff that's no good, that's no good, basically is going to come down into here, and then anything good is going up onto the loading bay. We've got our hoist there that we've bought recently. That's our second one we've got at the minute out on hire to pick everything up onto the loading bay, and then it goes in and onto the roof. So bad stuff here, good stuff here. The chute is tied in at the top. It's boxing at the middle here just to make sure that it's not bouncing all over the place. So here we've got everything that is no good. So skip lorry will come in, pull the panels out, skip onto the wagon, and off she goes. And then a new skip's put down and the cycle continues. See, along here, the client's asked us to put a fan in place. So what we have to do is obviously board all of this out, monoflex it, and then put another row of boards on top. And obviously what that will do is make sure that no debris can pass through. Obviously that's the main access in and out of the building, so we've got to keep it as secure as possible. Down our side here, obviously there's another access point here. Now this door here is an access that they use. However, there is a chance that if we're here and the schools are back and they do need to get in and out of there, we will come back and we'll need to create a fan for here as well. But at the minute, the only access point in and out of the building, obviously the school, we're in the summer holidays, the kids are off, but there's still caretakers and teachers occasionally in and out of there. So the fan will go in place on this one today, but on this one here, it's a chance that it may not happen. However, if we're here when the school comes back open, then obviously we'll need to put a fan in here too. Now, when we first turned up, I did think we had a packet of Marmite crisps sat on top of our scaffold. However, upon closer look and putting in my contact lenses, I realised it was a stellar sign. Now, obviously, in a place like this, you're not very visible, you're not exactly on the street, no one can see the scaffold. However, once the school is back, obviously there'll be parents here, children here, teachers, and it only takes for one person to notice the sign that needs scaffolding, or they're sat at a dinner table and they say, oh, actually, I was at this school, they've got a lovely scaffold, and the scaffolders are. So on that, take a punt, and yeah, although it's something we've been quite bad for now, it's something we're getting better at, is putting banners on our work. Because as you see, our work is lovely, but 9 times out of 10, people don't know who put it up. However, now we're doing YouTube, people will know who put it up, but we still need to put banners on there. And that is a live stream docking right there. It's just cost him a tenner. So we're up here now on the loading bay. Obviously we have got some boys in there, we've got some roofing boys, and they're not wearing full PPE. So I just want to note that they're nothing to do with us. All our boys will be kitted up and wearing their personal protective equipment. Now they've obviously not seen this sign, but luckily my boys have. So let's go inside and have a look. Boys are here just stripping the roof now. Obviously we've got my boys here, so we've got Kieran, Drew and Ross, and what they're doing is sorting out access for these dormers here. So the extra bits that were put in place, obviously these stacks here, we've got 1, 2, and we've got the dormer access which they're sorting out here. We've got our access point from down here, which obviously is all the way up. That gives us access to this side and this side, and it's a case of coming around through here, stepping down onto the dormer, and then there's going to be a ladder up here and a ladder up there onto the stacks. So the boys are here now just doing the last little bits on here. So our last set of work today is doing the splicing. So obviously we've got 2 stacks. We've got 1 stack, 2 stack, and we've got our dormer access down there. Now, the point for these stacks, and it was a variation in the initial scope of works, and basically what our client's got to do is change all of these pots. So it's a case of putting up as safe access as we could with the limited space we've got, obviously, between the beams and the pitch of the roof. This is the end result. So they've got a nice clear access all the way around, and they can now get in and do everything they need to do. Yeah, it's very, very, very loud up here, but it is a working space, so we'd expect it to be so. It's a building site. Yeah, complain when they're quiet, not when they're loud, because when they're quiet, nothing's being done. And there you'll see one of our ties. So on this we've had to go for our tie pattern is every 4 metre square. So that's every other lift and every other standard we've had to tie in. So, and obviously what that does is make sure that the scaffold can't pull in any way, and it's structurally secure and not going anywhere. Ritan's job for the day, we're obviously doing the snagging, all the last bits. So he's up there now working in a very confined space, and his job is basically to add splices to all of the joins. So he's just gone to get another butt now. And essentially what these are for, they're to splice the joins. So where you see here, we've got a sleeve to join the tubes together. And now what he's going to do, he's added a swivel either end of the sleeve, and he's going to add this butt here, this small tube. And essentially what that's going to do is stop the pull, so stop anything from lifting out. And obviously where we've got the tin hat on it and it's monoflex around the sides, in extreme weather, this becomes a sail. So obviously what we've got to do is minimize any risk. So as standard and as per our design, we have to splice all of these joins here to make sure that nothing can pull off. You all good though, mate? Working hard as always?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we needed that.
Good man. So and again, we've got our spurs all the way up here, obviously tied into our standard and secured to the underside of the beam, again, which reduces any sag and keeps everything nice and plump. But yeah, we've got our second stack here. Obviously our roof is in, the sides are all monoflexed up, and obviously we've got the final snags being done now. So if you look, you'll see all these joins are spliced all the way through. It's just the final touches now in here. We've got a couple little variations now that the boys are snagging and finishing off. Then it's just a final tidy up, tidy round, and make sure there's nothing we'll have to come back for. And obviously once the boys are out here for today, sign off is done and we will be out of here nice and early. still not sorted with the lorry. The Mercedes goes in to our mechanics on Friday, and it's likely going to have to go. It's going to have to go back into Mercedes. So we're still sorting out the situation with that. It's going on and on and on. It's a pain in the arse, but it is what it is. And to be honest, I've almost had to desensitize myself from the numbers short term, because the amount of money that I've spent this year on vehicles that have been damaged accidentally, or wear and tear on vehicles, or lorries playing up, is like mind-numbingly disgusting. So I've kind of desensitized myself from the numbers at the minute, and we're just ploughing on through, getting through it. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of money that's been paid, that has been spent on these vehicles. But it is what it is. It's part of it. It's we have a lot of ups. That's one of the downs. And but yeah, the key is just to keep ploughing on. I'm sure there's a lot of people in a much worse position than me, so that's what you've got to remind yourself all the time, and just keep ploughing on through. But one of the things that I have learned through life, yeah, is no matter what situation you've got going on, no matter what, there's someone in the world that would 100% swap places with you, yeah. So when I think I've got all these problems, I've got lorries going up, like I've got lorries that are playing up, I've got bills going out left, right and centre, I've got issues with whatever that comes across my day. Even so, yeah, when you sit back and look back at it, I think all my issues at the minute are materialistic issues. Like, so what? Do you know what I mean? There's so much more going on in life. But listen, yes, you have to be so reactive and focused and hungry and committed in everything you do if you have a business, or if you're trying to strive for something in a career, or to get in shape or anything. You have to be committed. Yeah, motivation won't get you anywhere. Commitment and discipline will, and that has to come first. But when I have these issues, yeah, and I think, do you know what? My life was so much worse. I can still get out of my pickup, walk into a shop, buy my packet of chewing gum, or buy my bottle of water, and be out of there free. You know, these tiny little things. And I think, do you know what? If I can do that, I'm lucky. Yes, I've got these dramas, and yes, I've got things to deal with, but the things to deal with, do you know what I mean? It's not really that deep. Yeah, and it's not to say that I don't care. I care more than anyone. I'm so committed to this. But when you water it all down, it's like, it is what it is. It is what it is. And things are only what you let them be in your own head. If you don't let it be an issue in your own head, then it's not an issue, is it? So that's why I've desensitized myself to these issues. Yes, I've got to pay money out to get these lorries sorted, but so what? In life, sometimes we spend money on things we want. In life, sometimes we spend money on things we don't want to. But it is what it is. It's money, it comes and goes. We make it, we spend it, it is what it is. Yeah, it's not the be all and end all. So back to the lorry, it is, I'm sure, on the way to being resolved. It doesn't look like it yet, but I know we'll be a step closer, because time is moving and we're trying to do everything we can to get it done. So the boys are on to new work starting tomorrow. As I say, I'm off to see something now that potentially could be a really, really, really good project for what we're trying to do. I can't speak anything on it yet. It's very early stages. However, hopefully it will make sense on one of the very next episodes. So one thing I also want to say is I absolutely love every single one of the boys that I work with, yeah, and that I do, hand on heart I do. Where I'm so passionate about this business stuff, yeah, like I'm not bothered at all about being a boss. I honestly, like, I don't care about being a boss. Yeah, I've always been a sociable person. I've always been someone that gets on with people. You know, that's always how I've been. Yeah, and I really don't care about being a boss. But what I do care about a lot is my business, and I'm so hungry. I'm so focused. I feel like I've got so much that I want to achieve that I feel like I'm a long way off, in a good way. And obviously when things go wrong, or people don't do what they're meant to do and have to get rid of people, yes, it drives me insane, and like it annoys me like mad, like obviously 100%. But when you're around the boys and you see the work they all do, like I've got so much respect for all the boys. I love working with all of them. So I just want to make it clear that for me, I don't care about being a boss, but I care a lot about my business. Obviously, to get my business to where it needs to be, I have to be the boss. The decisions that I'm making are for my business. It's not because I feel like I need to be a boss and need to be the big I am. That means genuinely absolutely nothing to me, zilch. But I've got a business that I'm trying to get to where I need it to be, and therefore at times I have to act like a boss. But anyway, from that, the boys there have absolutely nailed that project. It's another really good one. It looks very, very smart. and yeah, the client is over the moon. So yeah, brilliant stuff from the boys. Obviously the boys are cracking on up in Paddington as well. We're still not as busy as we'd like to be. We've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. Yeah, so it's a funny old time. I think because people are saying because the election and stuff like that, that people are sat waiting for things, and I'm hearing a lot of stuff from the same people. I mean, to be honest, I think it's luck of the draw. All our stuff that was meant to started would be absolutely rammed, and I wouldn't be saying this constantly, work not being as busy as it should be. And to be fair, if we were doing this on any other year, we'd have been absolutely manic. But at the minute, it's all a bit too easy. The days are being filled, but I like them to be stretched, and I like to be pushing, and I like to be under pressure, and at the minute it's not. It's all a bit too easy. So but listen, this is definitely the calm before the storm period. I know that a lot's going to come, and yeah, we just got to keep plugging away. It's going to wrap up the end of episode 11. We're flying through these now. Thank you again to everyone that supports, comments and likes the videos every single week. We have got an awful lot of people that are regular viewers and that aren't subscribed. I think there's only about 20% of our current regular viewers that are actually subscribed. So if you're not, please do so. If it means you've got to make a YouTube account, please do so. And yeah, and start and like these videos. Obviously keep interacting with me. I like interacting with all of you, talking to you, getting your feedback. And yeah, I'm very grateful for everyone that's locked in each week, and obviously I'm hoping that this is just going to get better and better and better. So again, thank you to everyone. If you haven't, please do like and comment on the video. Also, do not forget to subscribe, and we will see you again next week for episode 12.